Oh, faithfully sharing value by interpreting the world's best books. Hey there, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today, I'm going to dive into the book, How to Raise an Adult. When you hear this title, you might think, wait, isn't adulthood already being an adult? Oh, the truth is, lots of young folks hit 18, legally adults, but they're nowhere near grown up. They still lean on mom and dad for everything. Yep, you've probably seen it. Kids starting college, parents doing all the running around for registration, and hey, even climbing bunk beds to tuck them in. So, the author, Julie Lithcott-Hames, she's a big name in education, spent 10 years as Stanford's freshman dean. She's worked with tons of kids from 18 to 22, seeing firsthand how different upbringings affect them. Plus, she's a mom to two kids. They live in Palo Alto, smack in Silicon Valley. Think Beijing's Haidian, super competitive for college apps. She saw up close how parents give it their all for their kids' college dreams. Julie found that lots of kids struggle with basic life skills and have major mental health problems. Digging deeper, it's all because of overparenting. Overparenting? It's when parents do more for their kids than they really need to grow. Parents dive in deep, handling everything, life and school for their kids. She wants parents to wake up to the harm of overparenting and break free, which is why she penned this book. In the book, she lays out how parents can try different ways to raise kids into real adults. Once it hit shelves, boom, it was a hit, topping charts on the New York Times and Amazon. Folks say this book should lead all parenting guides. Chinese parents? They invest just as much heart as the Americans in the book. Labels like Haidian Mom or Shunya Mom, they're perfect examples of overparenting in China. Even though it's about U.S. parenting, Chinese parents can totally learn from it too. All right, I'll walk you through this book with two key questions. First, what counts as overparenting and what are its harms? Second, how should we help children become capable adults? Let's start with the first question. What exactly is overparenting and what harm does it cause? When it comes to overparenting, many parents recognize its manifestations. There are two main types. First, parents overprotect their children. Second, parents assist or even do things for their children. Making plans. First, let's examine overprotection. What constitutes excessive protection? Overprotection means when children could become resilient and independent, parents instead shield them completely from any harm. And consider these examples. The author once saw a mother crossing the street with her 8-year-old son. She held his hand while checking traffic, but the boy wore headphones, playing on his phone throughout. Another time, the author received a call from a parent reporting his daughter missing because he hadn't contacted her all day. And in reality, she'd simply attended an event and forgotten to call home. Both cases demonstrate overprotection. The first child, at 8, should be learning to cross streets independently, yet his mother fully protected him. In the second, a college student who should live independently still had parents demanding constant location updates. Overprotection extends beyond physical safety to emotional shielding. For example, if a child seems unhappy at school, parents might immediately suspect bullying and consider reporting it. Olaf Jorgensen, an elementary school principal, says the term bullying is being misused. Principal Jorgensen has 25 years in education.
He acknowledges bullying is serious, but true bullying involves deliberate targeting or isolation, with repeated actions demeaning or harming others over time.
From his observation, bullying hasn't significantly increased compared to the past. Often, what's called bullying is just normal friction between children. But Principal Jorgensen shared a case where a parent, convinced their child was bullied, came to school for serious discussions with teachers. Before the adults finished talking, the kids were already playing together. Some parents even struggle to accept teachers' criticism, fearing it'll harm their children. Take Fitz, an experienced middle school baseball coach who led his team to 2 national championships. One summer, the team didn't perform well in tournaments. Fitz bluntly pointed out each player's weaknesses. But When kids told their parents, many complained to the principal. They even demanded Fitz be replaced. Under pressure, he ended up apologizing and changing his approach. With such overprotection, kids stay perfectly safe, but never hear criticism or prepare for the real world. Beyond overprotection, let's examine another form: parents helping or even taking over planning for their kids. To secure dream colleges and successful futures, parents clear obstacles and take preventive measures, what the author calls concierge parenting. First, concierge parents handle all household chores.
Kids don't lift a finger except for studying.
Consider Jamie, a college sophomore whose mom since high school called daily to wake him and remind him about assignments and exams. Parents also plan academics starting as early as kindergarten. Since U.S. colleges value sports, athletic excellence significantly boosts admissions chances. Many parents start specialized sports training in kindergarten, ignoring physical risks of early specialization. This mirrors Chinese parents pushing kids into piano or dance classes en masse. Remember, early dance specialization can cause scoliosis. As schooling progresses, parental interference intensifies. Taking college-level courses in high school helps college applications. Parents choose easier courses just for high grades, ignoring interests and sometimes even complete assignments for their kids. There's this senior named August who never liked writing since he was little, so his parents always helped edit his essays. Even in his senior year, he still gets his parents to edit his papers. Parents also step in to communicate with teachers for their kids. Take Mr. Arjun. His whole family came to see the author about his future academic path. Arjun's dad spoke for him. Arjun's interested in chemical engineering research. We'd like to discuss his options. The author told Arjun, "Oh, that's great. Tell me about your research background, and I'll help find your best path into Stanford." But Arjun just looked at his dad, who then started describing Arjun's impressive past research. When kids job hunt, many parents tag along too. AUC study of 725 employers found 23% regularly see parents accompanying college grads during hiring. So why are parents so desperate to control every part of their kids' lives? Ultimately, it's because they want their children to succeed. Parents believe success can't tolerate mistakes. One misstep might ruin college admissions and job prospects. So they feel they must plan ahead, controlling every outcome possible. But does this actually work?
Short term, absolutely. Kids are safer and emotionally protected.
Academically and professionally, they seize opportunities and get solid results. Long term, though, it's seriously damaging. First, over-involvement makes kids helpless. They lack basic life skills, like this Stanford freshman arriving on campus. Days later, delivery guys left heavy boxes from home on the sidewalk outside his dorm. He just left them there. Why? The boxes were huge. Each needed 2 people to lift, and he had no clue how to get them to his room. Finally, his mom called the dorm supervisor, who sent people to move the boxes. When the dorm supervisor asked why he didn't just ask for help, he said he didn't know how to seek assistance. Second, parents doing everything causes psychological issues in children. A 2013 study of 297 college students found those with overparenting parents were more prone to depression than peers. Psychologists at a major public university noted over-involved parenting severely damages mental health, leaving students unable to balance parental influence and independence. Why do college students develop psychological problems? Because constant parental intervention sends a message: you can't handle this, you need my help. Over time, kids internalize this, believing they're incapable, never developing self-efficacy. Self-efficacy means believing you can complete tasks, achieve goals, and manage situations. This directly contradicts the message parents send. When kids leave for college, they must face the world and solve problems alone.
Small stuff like, why does my roommate dump cleaning duties on me?
Big issues like, Why didn't my professor specify errors in my paper? All kinds of problems require their own solutions, but they're used to parents solving everything, lacking experience, so frustration builds, and over time, mental health deteriorates. Other students follow parental plans, studying majors their parents chose. But in college, they realize it's not the life they want. The author once counseled Faith, a Stanford sophomore. Faith shared he was in medical school as his parents wished, with excellent grades, a GPA over 4.0.
But facing his achievements, he showed no pride, fighting tears as he asked what would happen if he admitted hating the medical internship they'd arranged.
The author felt Faith's sadness, even despair. He disliked both his major and college life. The American College Health Association surveyed over 100,000 students across 153 universities. 51.3% reported overwhelming anxiety. And, 8% seriously considered suicide, and 6.5% intentionally harmed themselves. Depression and anxiety have replaced relationship issues as the main reason college students seek mental health services. They carry their parents' high expectations and bear immense psychological pressure. On the surface, parents handle all planning, but this implies extremely high demands on their children. Wanting kids to excel and achieve in everything, children become psychologically overwhelmed, yet lack resilience to handle pressure. While parents keep pressuring them, dismissing their suffering as insignificant. So these overstretched students snap. Unable to cope, they turn to self-harm. Overparented kids also struggle to adapt after college when entering society. Mitchell, an HR director at an ambulance service, shared with the author. Some young employees want bosses to parent them, demanding every detail before acting. They don't fear heavy workloads but dread having to think through problems themselves. Parents might not realize that in overparenting, not just children suffer, parents get hurt too. Many parents, especially moms, quit careers to focus solely on their children's education. Thus, the children's academic pressure transfers onto the parents. Some parents' moods swing entirely with their child's performance. Good days bring relief. Bad days trigger despair and panic. One mom checks the school portal daily to see assignments her son must submit, then ensures he does. If he's watching TV or gaming instead of working, she gets anxious.
If he completes work, but it doesn't match the online system, she panics again.
Worried about mistakes, she calls teachers to double check. Her husband wearily told the author she invests too much energy and lives on edge. Research shows depression rates among parents in the U.S. are twice as high as the general population. About 7.5 million American parents are depressed. Not all due to children, but kids see their parents stress. A researcher named Galinsky once asked 1,000 kids what they'd most want to change about their parents' daily lives. Many kids' top wish was simply for mom and dad to be less exhausted and stressed. And then that wraps up part 1. We've covered overparenting's signs and harms. Overparenting mainly shows in 2 ways: overprotecting kids and stepping in, even making decisions for them. The harms are serious. Kids lose basic life skills, face psychological impacts, and become more prone to depression. Plus, parents themselves suffer from immense stress, so how do we raise capable adults? That brings us to the second question. First, let's define adulthood. What standards must one meet? The author lists traits, which I'll summarize in 3 words: independent, thoughtful, and resilient. Independence means interacting with parents as a separate individual, financially and intellectually. Right. Thoughtfulness means thinking independently with personal judgment and values. Resilience means tackling problems head on and taking responsibility when things can't be fixed. Getting kids to this point isn't easy. It's a huge test for parents. Parents must first hold hands, building their child's capabilities. Then they must learn to gradually let go, letting kids truly become independent. This process, holding hands then letting go, is how kids build skills and step into independence. So, what skills are vital for kids? First, basic life skills. Their importance is undeniable. How can that college kid who couldn't handle his luggage manage 4 years of independent living? Teaching kids simple chores, managing money, and planning schedules is essential. Though small, these tasks build significant skills, because completing these small tasks fosters a sense of control. In short, kids feel they can steer outcomes through thought and action, and this control is core to self-efficacy. Kids build confidence by completing small tasks successfully, feeling capable of more. Plus, chores lay the groundwork for better work skills later. Why do I say that? Take chores like washing dishes and taking out trash. Seems small, but teaches kids how contributing their share improves family life. Kids who form proactive core habits grow into employees who take initiative for their team's benefit. So, how do we build kids' basic life skills? The author suggests parents transition gradually from helping to full independence. If kids are young or new to a task, parents can assist them. Once kids understand the process, do it together. When they're familiar, step back and watch. After repeated success, let them handle it solo. This holding hands to letting go process is what the author practiced. When her son Sawyer was in school, she always handled his registration. By middle school, she realized Sawyer needed to do it himself. So on registration day, instead of doing it for him, she stood by, watching him fill forms and answer staff questions. That summer, after Sawyer's first year of middle school, he went to camp. She tried letting go further, having Sawyer handle camp check-in alone. First, she taught Sawyer key points for registration, then watched him do it himself. A successful first attempt. When Sawyer returned from camp, he smoothly handled checkout alone. When building life skills, the author reminds parents to abandon perfectionism and let kids keep trying. If kids are learning, say dishes aren't spotless, parents criticizing or taking over will crush their motivation. The second vital skill, learning to think. What does that mean? It means letting kids figure things out themselves, applying experience and knowledge, not just following orders. How do we boost this? The author suggests using back and forth questioning to engage kids in conversation. But there's skill involved. Some dialogues don't build thinking skills at all. For example, when a child comes home, dad might ask, "How was school today?" The child says, "Okay," then dad asks, "How'd you do on the English test?" The child replies, "Good," and dad praises, "Oh, great, you're amazing." At this point, the conversation usually stalls. Why? Because dad's responses lack depth, and the praise shuts down further discussion. Dialogue. So, what's effective questioning? Take that school conversation. Parents could ask, "What's your favorite subject?" If the child says English, follow with, "Why do you like it best?" If they reply, "I understand everything the teacher says," ask, "What do you do to always grasp the material?" This encourages kids to reflect on their learning methods. Essentially, no matter the answer, keep asking why. How did you do that? Or what do you think? To spark thinking. Conversations shouldn't just cover daily life or school. Discuss current events or books too. The author recommends picking debatable topics and asking the child's view. Parents can present opposing views, explain their reasoning, and discuss potential consequences. After one round, swap perspectives and restart the discussion. One discussion. This approach pushes kids to think critically and apply knowledge. The author reminds parents to use encouraging, playful tones, not demand perfect answers. One girl told the author her lawyer father, trying to build critical thinking, would debate her until she was speechless and in tears. She started avoiding him or preparing for battle. Their talks felt like war, not bonding. Oh, obviously, before kids grow up, parents know more and understand topics more comprehensively. The author stresses that parent-child communication should help kids organize their own views, not replace their thinking or impose parental opinions. Besides family talks, parents can encourage kids to engage with more people, like coaches or teachers, so they voice questions and opinions more. Parents can have kids prepare discussion points and anticipate questions beforehand. Once kids develop thinking skills, parents should listen more to their ideas, transitioning from hand-holding to letting go, like letting them pursue interests they choose, not just what parents think they should learn. The author once suggested her son Sawyer take Spanish in high school, but Sawyer was minoring in 3 subjects already, under huge academic pressure. When discussing balance, Sawyer decided to drop Spanish, convincing his teacher he'd focus more on preferred courses since Spanish was too hard and wouldn't meet college standards. With critical thinking, kids can plan their lives and make independent, beneficial decisions. Beyond life skills and thinking, let's examine the third vital ability: handling setbacks and failures. Resilience. No one succeeds all the time. Resilience helps someone stand up after failure and keep moving forward. The author believes kids need courage to face failure, and parents must accept it calmly. Experiencing tough times is essential for growth, like not being invited to a birthday party, getting poor grades on a hard-written essay, failing to make the basketball team, or facing baseless accusations. When these happen, parents should remind themselves that kids must experience hardships, but just watching isn't enough. They must build kids' resilience. So how do we build this ability to handle setbacks calmly when things go wrong? Oh, the author's advice can be broken down into 3 phases: before, during, and after. Beforehand, parents need to let kids know they're always there for them, supporting and loving them no matter if they succeed, fail, or mess up. That unconditional love and support give kids the guts to explore on their own. At the same time, parents gotta learn to step back, let kids make choices, and face consequences, not rush to clear hurdles because they're scared of mistakes. For instance, if a kid isn't invited to a birthday party, parents shouldn't secretly contact the other parents to add their child to the invite list. After the fact, parents can debrief with the kid, give specific, honest feedback, like that birthday party example. They might ask, if you two were close but you didn't get invited, did you do something to hurt the friendship? And if they weren't that tight, explain it's normal. Not everyone's going to like you. Or take writing an essay that took time but got a low grade. Analyze together. Did they miss the prompt or need more writing practice? During debriefs, parents can share their own life struggles, show kids life has bumps, but they're conquerable. After all these parenting tips, the author advises parents to find themselves. Yes, raise kids well, but don't revolve your whole life around them.
She believes parents must be themselves first, showing what a full adult life looks like through their own activities.
Take Catherine, a mom who does this. She and her middle schooler operate pretty independently. After work, she sticks to running and reading. And on weekends, while her kid hangs with friends, she meets her own pals or catches a movie. Later, they share fun stories from their outings. Catherine shows her kids that work, exercise, reading, and socializing are vital parts of life, not making them feel like they only see adults, serving them, driving them to classes. Many parents face environmental pressure, with others around them dedicating everything to cultivating their kids' abilities. So, what should we do about this? The author advises parents to stand firm in their views, agree with their partner, gain strong support, and actively find like-minded parents. Okay. The second question, how to help kids become adults, is covered. We discussed parenting methods. Parents must foster essential skills and gradually let go for independence. These essential skills include independent living, critical thinking, and handling failure and setbacks. Finally, the author advises parents themselves to find their identity and care more for their physical and mental health. Life's path is stormy. Parents can't always shield kids from wind and rain. A parent's love means planning for their long-term future. How can we help children stand against the wind and fear no storms? This is a question every parent must ponder. Okay, how to help children grow up and become adults. That's the end of the interpretation for you. And listening notes are below the audio. We'll see you next time.